Does anyone remember what the genie in Aladdin could not do? He couldn't kill anyone. He couldn't bring anyone back from the dead. And he couldn't make someone fall in love. Today, Gundog says that the most important consideration when it comes to relationships, the most important factor, and one thing that has to remain true, is that both parties have to want to be in the relationship. Now, this becomes more important when starting a relationship and ending a relationship. There are people out there who think you can make someone fall in love with you. I mean, let's just for a moment, before we delve right into it, think about the whole love potion. The fantasy that we could create some type of, spell or use some type of magical concoction or decoction to make someone fall in love with you. And what is that? To adore you? I once defined love as an overdeveloped sense of loyalty. Someone who would do or say anything for you, because I guess they were loyal to you. They loved you. They felt engaged. Certainly, it is possible for love to go one way. For me to love someone and them not love me back. But that isn't a relationship. A relationship is most certainly two ways. And if one of you doesn't want to be in it anymore, say you've been in love, and it's, for whatever reason they've lost interest, or it just isn't there, the spark isn't there. Maybe the relationship was a fleeting arrangement that out of convenience, and so many relationships are. I mean, if you're not there, how could it exist? You know what I mean? Like if you meet someone on spring break and have a tryst, a fling, that would be a relationship out of convenience. It's not uncommon for people to, date their coworkers or classmates. I mean, it's the people around us who we adore, who we love. What was it? What did Hannibal say in Silence of the Lambs? We covet what's around us, what we know. You know what I mean. But you can't make someone love you, and you can't make someone want to be in a relationship with you. Oftentimes, you might establish some interest or have, one interesting evening, and yeah, how polite. You might have one interesting altercation. And maybe you want more. Maybe they want more. And to you, it was just, a fun time with someone you met. But, that was a time and a place. And today's a different day. Tomorrow's another. For a relationship to work, I don't even want to say lasting, you both have to want it. I knew a guy from elementary to right towards the end of high school. And he just stopped talking to me, stopped hanging out with me. And I wasn't rude about it, really didn't say why. And I just couldn't help but wonder, we were friends for so long. I kind of tried to push the issue, like, why are we friends, blah, blah. And he never really addressed it. But wasn't that me trying to understand it? And was that necessary? Wasn't knowing that he didn't want to be my friend anymore, wasn't that enough? Or maybe that wasn't clear. And maybe a lot of the frustration, and in point in fact it was that I still wanted to be that person's friend. And not too long ago, I did the same thing to someone else. We were friends in high school and then through college, and then as adults, our values just changed. And, we saw each other in different light as adults, and I just didn't want to be around that person anymore. And they, in a similar fashion, kind of wanted to know why, or they didn't understand. But I didn't want to be in that relationship anymore. And that was enough. It didn't matter that the other person wanted it. You need both for a relationship to be successful. How about when relationships end? Romantic relationships. You've been together for so long, or maybe you've moved in. And oftentimes one of the number one causes of relationships to end these days is financial. Everything's become so expensive, and oftentimes you need two incomes to survive, and I had one of those relationships too, where the power got turned off, the car got repossessed, and there's just this kind of tension and resentment. It can sour whatever affections you might have. In that respect, sometimes keeping it very surface level is smart or wise. Say you and I play poker every Thursday night. Maybe I hate you as a person, but you're a good poker player, and that's our relationship. And we both want to get together and keep playing poker on Thursdays. That's a healthy relationship. Maybe hate was a strong word. A friend of mine just went through not a bad breakup, but a relationship that he really struggled for, which, by the way, that's his first mistake. Falling in love with like the person like closest to him, basically the first female he ran into, and differences, and there were some. He tried to embrace those differences as part of himself, and in that he kind of changed himself. And this person is fine. I mean, adaptable. But I would also advise against changing yourself for someone else. It pollutes the integrity of a thing. In a situation, put yourself in this, in any situation where a lover might come to you and say like, well, I'm willing to do whatever to make this work. I'm willing to change. I'll do this or do that. And I don't know. Maybe they have destructive behavior they're willing to quit. And maybe that's healthy for them. Maybe they don't realize it. And I would advise changing oneself changing oneself for oneself is the best way not to get someone back or not to keep someone, but just to better yourself. You feel better, you become better, and that'll shine through. You become more attractive as a human being as you become to respect yourself more. Getting a little off topic here. If someone wants to break up with you, that's all you really need to know. You can ask why, but do you really need to know? If you think it's something you can fix, does that really take away from the fact that this person has thought about it and they want to distance themselves from you? These decisions are not made lightly. And maybe we shouldn't take relationships so seriously. Marriage is this tradition followed by a ritualistic ceremony. I mean, that's what it is, right? Why get the law involved and draw up a contract and get all your friends and family there? Relationships are very intimate, and once you involve the world, and once you look forward to such an event, which is again just a tradition, I think it belittles the actual integrity of the relationship, which is just you and that other person, your special someone, if you will. Respect each other for who you are. Be true to yourself. And if you love one another and want to be with one another, it's gonna make it a lot harder for outside influences to break you up. But don't fight it. It's pathetic.